Well, we're going to start then. I'm going to start because you never do it right. I never do it right. Go. Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wholehearted Living with...
Valerie.
And Bennie. You can't even say your name.
Well, because I'm laughing at you because you still have to look at the screen to see the name of the podcast.
That's true. We're Wholehearted Living, and we are the sibling podcast where one of us comes with a topic, surprises the other person. It's all about wholehearted living. And
that's it.
And I guess that's it. And we have Iggy here, who is our sound conductor.
Hello. I have a fun fact for this.
Oh, yay.
Ooh, here we go.
We're recording this on July 24th. On July 26th, it'll be 2 years to the day since we dropped the first episode.
Are you kidding?
Whoa!
No way.
2 years, folks. So if you've been listening to us for all 2 years, you get a free Wholehearted Living t-shirt. And we'll make it if you let us know.
Yes, exactly. Definitely. I will definitely make one if somebody reaches out and says...
If you reached out and said that you wanted it, we would do it. Yep. And I'd make myself a shirt. Oh, family doesn't count. Patty raised her hand.
Iggy's like, I've been listening to that.
I listened to it twice. I listened to each episode at least 2 times. At least. One live and one when I'm editing.
That's right.
Iggy's listened to it more than I have.
I know.
So, yes, that's true.
Oh my gosh, I was listening to the podcast the other day, and if you've been listening for a while, you have to know that there's been many times I was listening to it when I worked out at UFC.
Which is her workout gym.
The gym. And I would be doing whatever it is I was doing, and then I would hear something funny, and I would literally laugh out loud, and then people would be looking over at me, and I just remember this one time, what are you listening to? And I'm like, my podcast!
I can't tell you that it's funny because I like listening. I listen to all kinds of podcasts at times, especially when I'm working out. And occasionally it's ours. And I have laughed at us.
I know.
And it's weird to laugh at myself.
I know. And I was walking the other day. I was taking Maggie for a walk, and I was listening to it at that point. And there I was in the middle of the street laughing. And I'm like, oh my God, is anybody looking outside?
Yeah. And Maggie doesn't find it funny.
No.
Yeah.
But the weirdest
Maggie's
thing about thinking, oh, are people going to think I'm weird? I'm laughing by myself as I'm walking with my headphones in. People talk on the phone now with their headphones in. So it's just, it's almost
you know what's so funny is she made that sound like, I'm looking at Iggy. She made that sound like she, like, nowadays people talk on the phone with headphones as if they haven't been doing it for 20 years.
I know. I have never talked on the phone with my head. Well, I shouldn't say never. There was one time I was walking and somebody called.
You're lying.
I swear.
How do you talk on the phone?
I picked the phone up and put it to my ear.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know it could do that. I'm just kidding. It's been so long since I've done that. I almost exclusively talk on the phone like this. You know what irritates me? We've talked about this years ago in the podcast. I can say that now. One thing that drives me crazy though is people that speak. Nowadays, I don't understand.
People that speak? What do you mean?
The people who use their phone on speaker and think we all want to participate in their phone call. And they're in line or they're whatever. And they're just sitting there talking. And I don't know what it is because I do this too. But whenever you're talking on the phone, you talk louder. Have you ever noticed this? It's just automatic. Patty always says, you're talking so loud. And I'm like, well, you do the same thing when you're on the phone. It's like when we're on the phone, we talk louder.
Yeah.
And anyway, so they're sitting there talking and they're holding, for the non-YouTubers, I'm holding my phone up and they're just talking and I'm
You're
looking
really not holding your phone up. You're holding your hand up.
Oh, I'm holding my hand up, pretending like it's a phone. And the thing is that it's so bizarre because I'm like, do you think that like we want to hear this conversation?
Oh, there's a guy that picks up his son at school and every single day he's on the phone on the speaker. It's not like he's holding it to his ear and talking. He has it out, like you just said, in front of his body, and he's talking so loud and the person is talking back so loud. And you're just like, can you just stand back? Because I'm trying to hear who's person picking up the other child. You're here for your
son right now.
And
that's another totally different issue.
Yeah,
that's a totally different issue.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it really drives me crazy when you're in a Costco line or you're in somewhere and it's like, I don't want to hear about your mother's, arthritis.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, it's just, have you ever heard of headphones? I don't understand. Seriously, just Do people not own headphones? Or put it off speaker and do the traditional non.
Or if you're in Costco in line, tell them you'll call them back.
Yeah, well, Patty doesn't like to do that either, though.
I honestly can't.
Although you did it today, thank you.
I was in. I want to engage, except you know me, I don't small talk people. But if I'm at the grocery store and somebody, like if Peter's calling or whatever, I just go, I'll call back, because I don't want to walk up to this person that's like checking me out to say,
checking you out.
I mean, yeah, checking me out. No, I don't want to be on the phone. I don't want to. I think that's rude.
And I actually say, whenever I'm on the phone like that, I will always say to the person in front of the Costco rep, I'll say, hey, hang on. I'm going to do something. And then I won't necessarily hang up, but I'll talk to that person and say, basically let the phone person know that you're not the priority right now.
Right.
And so, yeah. These are all very important things that everybody needs to know and part of wholehearted living. But
I'd love to know, do you use earphones, headphones? Do you use the phone to your ear, or do you do the speaker?
Or do you do the speaker?
Yeah.
This is a poll. Will confess, I do think this is a good poll. Iggy, can we put a poll?
Well, nobody ever answers our poll.
I know, we need you to poll. But I actually would say that I actually do like using the speaker a lot, but I don't do it in front of people.
I don't either. I do the speaker in my house.
I still can't believe you don't use your headphones.
No, I like I said, I think.
Why not?
I don't know, because why? Like, why?
Well, in your house, it doesn't matter. But I'm saying if you're in Costco or wherever, then your hands are free.
I don't talk on the phone if I'm in Costco.
You probably don't talk on the phone very much.
I don't talk on the phone. Yeah. I mean, honestly, you want to talk to me? Text me. I really don't talk on the phone that much.
That's not called talking.
But I don't talk on the phone that much. But if I do talk on the phone, it's usually in my house, and I do have it on speaker so that my hands are free.
So
for
I
other
walk
stuff.
every morning and I make a phone call to a person. I've talked about this in the podcast before, and so I'm using my headphones.
Mm-hmm.
So I always use my headphones, and I would say 90% of the time I use my headphones in a phone call, unless I'm at home, either alone or where. Patty, it doesn't matter if Patty's hearing the call. Like if you called, I would say, oh, it's me and Patty.
Yeah.
Or if Iggy calls or Trinity calls or whatever.
Right.
It's me and your mom. And so that way we don't have to, I don't have to hold anything. I don't have to have anything in my ear. And then sometimes when we go on a walk at the beach, I'll get the headphones out and I'll put one in her ear and one in my ear. So then people don't have to hear it, but we can still talk. The only problem with that is the microphone only works on one headphone. So whoever ends up, which I still don't know how this works, whoever has the microphone has to translate or has to repeat what the other person said. Yeah. These are all very important things to wholehearted living.
That's right. Don't you forget it.
Yeah. And please answer our poll. So do you want to hear about my life?
I do.
Okay.
Tell me.
Patty and I drove 3,000 miles.
Oh, I know.
What was it, Patty?
Nice
2,900 miles? Is that what it turned out to be? Nearly 3,000 miles we traveled for over 9 days. 8 days. 9.
It doesn't matter.
It was 9 days. She's wrong. She can't do that. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's 9 days.
Okay.
Friday,
move on.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Right? That's 9 days.
Can you edit this so that they don't have to listen to this?
Friday to Saturday is 9 days because we drove on Friday.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So 9 days. Wow. Still a lot of miles.
Yeah.
Friday to Saturday, they did 3,000 miles overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Yeah, just one day. So here's the thing, though, is that what's funny is that often in the past I drive, and really there's no reason for it other than I just did, because I don't really care. And I really wanted to take the dog on our trip. Mm-hmm. Patty did not want to take the dog on our trip. Mm-hmm. So she was...
I lined up excellent dog sitters.
So she actually had great dog sitters, which included Iggy. Uh-huh. But I actually wanted to take our dog. And I don't know. He's dying. He's not dying, but... he's dying. But he's old. Yeah. He's old. And I'm just like, I just want to take him. and we can. So why not? Well, one of the things for Patty that was a big deal is that whenever we go on a trip, like even if we go to the beach, he doesn't like to sit in the back seat. He likes to sit on someone's lap. And she's like, I ain't having him sit on my lap for a really long trip.
Yeah.
And so she goes, if we're going to take him, then I'm driving. And I said, okay, great. So literally she drove 90% of the time, I would say. So you guys did take the dog. Yeah, we took the dog and he sat on my lap. I didn't have any problem with him sitting on my lap. He would actually chill out. He was very chill. And then the other thing that's cool is that I could read. I slept. I mean, I enjoyed not driving, to be honest. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And Patty's like driving. Now, I will say we have this new car. You know, new cars are really fun.
Yeah.
Because you put it on cruise control. It's not like old cruise control, which is like a death route, because if the traffic slows down, it's just going to keep going. It doesn't give a crap.
Yeah.
And the new one like slows down. Ours has steering, whatever.
Oh God, that scares me.
Adaptive cruise control with steering assistant, lane keeping assist.
What Iggy said. And so and so literally all you have to do is keep your hand on the steering wheel, but it actually turns and does the whole shebang.
Wow.
And then we learned this because when we got out, I didn't even know this. Have you ever driven to Northern California or Oregon?
No. I mean, I've been up north, but not to Oregon. I didn't go to Oregon.
I mean,
up north in California, but not Oregon.
Yeah. I've never been farther north in a car than San Francisco or a little bit past San Francisco. But this time we went to Sacramento and then we went to Oregon and it's mountains. It's like a lot of windy roads. Well, our little adaptive doohickey actually slows down on the turns automatically.
Wow.
It knows that you're on the turns and it slows you down and just does it. So Patty, she said she drove. She just picked her nose. She was doing her makeup. She was cooking.
She was taking a nap too.
She was taking a nap. No, I'm kidding. But I will say I'm not going to speak for her other than when I drove and you could put it on all those things. It's easier than the old days because it's not a matter of not paying attention because hopefully you're still paying attention, but you don't have to like focus on, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that. Even when you just know, okay, it needs to brake and then the car starts braking. So you're good, but you don't have to do that. And it might sound like the most ridiculous little tiny thing. Like, well, why can't I just brake? But when you're doing it for 3,000 miles, it's pretty nice that you don't have to worry about it. And even if it's slowed down,
what if there's a malfunction?
Well, then you die. And there was times, the one thing that's really hard about it, for instance, is if there isn't a car in front of you and all of a sudden there's massive traffic, well, it's going to slam on the brake. It's not going to anticipate that slowdown. So then you do have to engage, you do have to do something. But if you're in normal traffic or lack thereof, no traffic, then you just don't, or very little traffic, then it handles it all. So it's great. And when you say what happens, you just push the brake.
Yeah.
And just like normal, it disengages. Everything disengages and you're in control. And so it's just a really cool thing. But it was a weird trip because the last time we took a long drive trip was moving from California to Kansas City. So that was we did the math, but now I forgot it, 25 years ago-ish. And normally we fly, we go out of the country quite a bit. So obviously we don't drive. But even this time we went out of the country though. So I wanted to see Sacramento. We've grown up in California, never been to the capital. We wanted to see our niece and her partner in Oregon. We wanted to see Seattle, which by the way, Seattle is amazing. Have you ever been to Seattle?
No.
I think you might have been already gone, but Mom and Dad took me to Seattle.
I might have been gone. What do you mean?
You might have been an adult, out of the house.
Out of the house. Okay.
You were out of the house because I was 16. So how old would you have been?
Yeah, I was married.
Yeah. So, because you're way older than me, and but
I just got married very young, but I did.
Yeah. So we went to Seattle. But I really didn't remember it very well. But it's a really cool city. Now, I will say we talked to somebody because then we took a ferry to Canada. And somebody told us, he goes, well, you're here at a really good time because not only did we just finish, meaning Seattleites, finish all the construction there, but he goes, the other thing is that he goes, it's sunny. He goes, most of the time it's not.
Yeah.
And so he goes, you really had a good time. But we got to go see the first Starbucks ever, which even though we really don't drink Starbucks very much in terms of going to the store, Trinity brings us our Starbucks.
Right.
But other than that, but it was just really cool to spend time with her. And then our niece took us to Mount Hood and we drove around and we did a bunch of stuff. And it was and we have a hybrid. So it was like gas wise wasn't ridiculous.
Right.
So that was nice.
Yeah.
And yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was a couple times the dog was a nuisance because we go to a restaurant. We had to eat outside.
Yeah.
Some places are pretty where were we, Patty? Where they didn't even let us sit in the outdoor seating? We had to sit in the outdoor seating. Where was that?
That was in Victoria.
In Victoria,
well,
BC.
I mean, I have an issue with dog around food. I don't think it's.
You have a dog around food every day. You have your Maggie
in the restaurant. I don't like to look up and see a dog in a restaurant.
We had the dog inside.
So we have the dog inside. Patty, they can't hear Patty. So
you just talk about people that are allergic to that. And I understand. You might have it in a carrier, you might have it whatever. But there's been a few times we've been in a restaurant and I've seen a dog on the chair, and you're like, are the restaurant people gonna come by and wipe off all the hair on the chair? You know what I mean? And then there was one time there was a dog on the chair, but putting his paws and head on top of the table, and it's like, you don't know who's allergic to a dog. It's an animal. I just don't think it needs to be in a restaurant. So all that to say,
they had outdoor seating in some places, and one place they didn't let us even sit in the outdoor seating. There was another outdoor seating beyond the outdoor seating, and we could eat there. And so it was fine, and it was actually totally fine. They treated us great. It was a good meal. It was actually, I don't think we ate an entire meal there, but we wanted a Guinness. But there was the one time that was probably the worst was we had this really cool restaurant on a dock on a board and right on the water, and you could see seals, and we brought the dog in, and they go, sorry, you can't have the dog here at all. And the only thing to do was to take him back to the Airbnb. And so Patty actually drove him, because what's weird is, and we were only 5 minutes away from the Airbnb. But what's really funny is that that was the reason why Patty drove was because that was the one section the Northwest, all the way like Seattle, Canada, and then everything we did in Canada, basically I drove. So that was the one area that I drove quite a bit. And I think even to Seattle I drove. And Patty drove all the way basically to there, and then she drove out of there. I don't think I drove at all, or very, very little outside of there. But it was really fun. We thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, the dog was a little bit inconvenient, but other than that, and then the other thing that's inconvenient, especially for a pug, is that it was pretty warm.
Yeah,
the entire trip was warm, and our dog doesn't do well in it. So I was like, I was going to say something racist. I'm not going to do it. Oh. But not intentionally.
Thank you.
Sorry, Iggy bows like a good Asian. Oops. Just kidding.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. No, but what I was going to say is I walked around. Here is this Mexican dude with an umbrella, because sun was so like hard. We have an umbrella in our car, and I just started carrying it with me because it was too. And the white woman is enjoying it. And I couldn't take the sun.
That's
the sun is so
funny.
And so it really, because the thing is, in the shade, It was actually fine.
Yeah.
But in
It's
the
when it's
sun,
beating
it was like,
on you.
oh
Yeah.
gosh, it was
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
So that happened in Sacramento, in Oregon.
But that
then in
happens
Las
at the
Vegas.
beach. Like I've walked up and seen you and Patty at the beach, or Patty's taking
yeah.
a picture. She's like basking in the sun, and you're sitting there with a little umbrella over you, or the shirt on, or whatever. Yeah,
I do not like. I love sun, but to like witness it from afar. Or walk in it for 15 minutes and then go, okay, I need to be covered up now.
No, I get it. I get it.
I don't like, and the other thing that's funny is Patty and I go to the beach. We went to the beach today in between clients, and it's so funny because I lay out for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Today I went for a run, and every lifeguard saying I would do 20 push-ups and 20 squats. And I come back, and Patty's laying out, putting Crisco oil on her. I'm not doing anything.
And you
at
already
all.
got a
And
suntan.
I'm so dark. I mean, look at me.
I see that.
It's like, it's so funny.
That's seriously me too. I could be like, it's so funny. Like I get my tan in the first couple days of summer, and then I'm set for the whole summer.
Like it's so dark, and Patty's like trying to do it forever and ever and ever and ever, and it takes her
funny.
a while. But anyway, wow, this was the longest preamble we've ever had in our entire life.
And it was all about a car.
No,
I'm just kidding. I know it's about your
vacation.
trip. I know. That sounds fun.
Jeez, you were not even listening.
It sounds good. It sounds very good. So do you want to hear my topic?
No, let's just skip it. Go for it.
We are going to talk about death.
Oh, sweet.
It's all about wholehearted living and dying.
Okay,
no, but it really is about
Wholehearted
death.
dying.
Oh my
Wholehearted
gosh,
dying.
you know what? I'm going to ask somebody really quickly. Could you turn on our lights?
Oh my gosh. That is very funny. We were so ready for so long that we forgot.
We forgot to turn them on. We are so
Good thing it's still
handicapped,
sunny
but
out.
Apparently it looks good enough. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just looked over there and I was like,
That's
that looks
so
weird.
funny. Oh gosh. Okay, now we look lighter and
Now
brighter.
we look brighter.
Talk about life.
Yeah.
Yes.
So go
No,
for it. This is see light. Go to the light.
Go to the light. Well, really quickly, not really quickly, but this is a reason I brought this topic up. About 3 weeks ago, a friend of mine that I went to school with, you probably don't know, you might know the name, Fred Iguchi. A friend, so he owned a little wine bar in Redondo Beach. He's owned it for years. It was called Friends of the Vine. And he went to North High. I think he's a year, maybe two older than I am. But I found out that he had, I don't want to misquote what the cancer is, so I'm not going to say, but I believe it was throat cancer. It wasn't like,
Regardless, he's going to die.
well, we didn't know that because we're like, okay, you're going to get help. And he was, doing whatever he was doing to combat this. Well, he ended up dying just like a few weeks ago. Wow. So it was like, whoa, he was the nicest guy. And, it's always sad when you say things about people when they're dead. Yeah. But Peter and I would talk about it because Peter didn't know him from school or anything, but we would have like get-togethers there for North High. And then, our friends, Don and Kevin would go there and they would say, oh, meet us to the Friends of the Vine. Peter doesn't like wine. And Fred was just so kind. He goes, I'm going to go, I got something for you. And he would run down where, no customers are allowed to go. And he would pull out a beer and pour it in a wine glass. So it looked like he had wine. And he always had Peter's, like, I got you. I know you don't like wine. Every time we would go and he would go do that for him. So anyway, it was just very sad that he died. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy because he's young, Literally 2 days later, a girl that we started following each other on Instagram because of our gray hair journey. She was on a gray hair journey. And I noticed, it's just so weird because I noticed during the beginning of the summer, that she was talking raspy all the time. And I'm like, wow, she's had this sore throat for a long time. Well, fast forward, she found out she had throat cancer.
Oh, wow.
She found out, and they were trying to, she had to have surgery.
Did she know?
Thyroid cancer.
Did she know that something was going on?
She didn't know. She had to go into she started getting pain in her ears. So she went to the doctor, found out she had thyroid cancer. So they did surgery, removed the thyroid, and then they were going to move on with treatment. So then she's still not feeling well. She finally goes back, and I'm talking, this is within like months. This isn't years of anything. And then she goes back one particular day to have more tests done to figure out what's going on. And she has the incurable thyroid cancer. It is, I forgot the name of it. I want to say it's anaplast. I should have looked it up, but
doesn't matter. I wouldn't know it.
She went on her Instagram saying, you know, I cancer beat me. I don't know how long I have, and she was just this fun, perky woman she always dressed in the weirdest clothes, random bright colors with random bright pants. And she did her eye makeup. I'm not exaggerating. It was glitter, and she would have like blue on this in the inner corner of her eye, then green, and then yellow on the outer corner. And it was like, she's so weird, but she was just so herself and true to life. Like I just remember feeding off her energy because she was just so herself. And so all of a sudden the next day, I don't see anything on her Instagram, and she used to post daily on her thyroid updates. And I thought, okay, well, she's taking time with her family. She knows her days are limited. I don't know how much days. I looked it up. It could be 3 to 6 months. It could be whatever. Right. And then I see, I think that night or the next morning, another person that we were mutual friends with on Instagram posted, "Rest in peace, my friend." And she died that fast. Wow. And so, yeah. And so it just got me to thinking about life. And she was young. She had 2 little kids. I want to say her kids were like maybe 10 and 8 or 8 and 6. Like they were young. Yeah. So, excuse me. It just got me to thinking about life and living wholeheartedly and living in the moment. And you can't take for granted tomorrow. Yeah. And so, so you always ask me a question. So I'm going to ask you a question. What would be if I have some points that I want to make, but I just thought of this question. If you were told you have an incurable cancer, you have a very limited time. They're not going to tell you the time because they don't know. It could be today, it could be 6 months. But what would your number one thing to do? What would be your number one thing to do, or with knowing you had a limited time? Tomorrow's not promised.
Number one is too difficult. So I'm not going to answer that. What I will say is,
well, what would be the most important thing to you?
No, well, that's what I'll answer.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what I would, the number one thing that would come to my mind is work is nowhere near as important as I think. Mm-hmm. Making money is nowhere near as important as I think. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I'm going to say, even in my life journey as a person right now, not even with this question, I've actually changed a great deal in that regard. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing you're like me, that time flies. It's Patty and I were just talking this morning about how just last week at this time we were leaving Canada.
Right.
It's like crazy.
Exactly.
It's like we were just in Canada, and it was a week ago.
Yep.
And so time is ridiculous. So I guess the way I would answer this is to say, spending time with people I love in ways that we love to spend time would be number one top shelf priority. Mm-hmm. is relationships. So that includes, I call it our 6, which is, you're going to make me cry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But it's my daughters and their partners, including this dude.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be my family, which includes you and Peter and Valerie. I mean, you're Valerie.
You can just do me twice. It's okay.
Stephanie and my nephews and nieces. And it's like, mom and dad. I mean, mom and dad, it's funny because God, they won't die no matter what we do to them. I'm sorry. I know, good thing they're not listening. No, what I mean is that it's like, I'm preparing myself mentally for mom and dad dying, to be honest with you. I've been doing that for the last year or so because not because they have any signs of it, but they're not young.
Right.
And all their friends are dying.
Exactly.
And so it's like, it really literally is just a matter of time. And so
I feel that way about mom and dad, and also especially Peter's mom and dad. Peter's dad has been, I don't know that guy.
Sickly.
And I keep saying this guy has 9 lives because every time I turn around, when they think it's like, okay, this could be it, and then he's back at Thanksgiving,
Right.
So, and,
well, but to get to your
but
question,
you prepare
is that
for those things.
I'm good. Yeah. And so that's why yes, I include mom and dad in this, but the truth of the matter is I'm already preparing to lose them.
Sure.
And that's a totally different podcast probably because it's on them. It's not on me dying. Right.
Yeah.
But what I would say is that, I'm trying to be more intentional about the time I spend with people I love and care about now.
Right.
Because for so many years, it wasn't the priority. There were other things that were priority.
And to your point, oh, I thought you said something. That's funny. And to your point, even if you don't think that your days are numbered, but we still aren't promised tomorrow.
No.
And so to be intentional with the time that you do have with your person or your people, whoever it is that you're with. And that was one of the first things that I wrote, or, I actually Googled some of this too, to be fully present in the moments that matter. And it kind of goes back to our conversation with Ray. If you guys listened to the podcast last week, I'm not sure if it was
2 weeks
ago. 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure if it was the first part or second part, but he did say that, he doesn't take his phone places because he wants to be in the moment. He doesn't want to be distracted by a phone or whatever. A lot of people have their phones out, whatever. And so that's, I wrote, put your phone down, look into people's eyes, listen deeply. Like, a lot of times you can be in the room with somebody, but you're not really with the person. And so if it's not somebody that, like, for example, Peter and I can be in the room together and we can be watching TV together and we are together.
Yeah.
But also there has to be intentional connection because.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting. Nowadays there are some great games for couples to play. That talk about that try to engage people beyond life. For Patty and I, I'm probably annoyingly intentional with Patty in terms of talking about questions and asking her questions.
Yeah.
And you brought up something that I find fascinating is obviously with therapy and with life coaching and with all my clients, I've had more than one client spend a few sessions with me, especially in therapy, not in life coaching per se, because usually life coaching comes in with a particular goal and we're trying to help them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help them reach a goal. Therapy, they're coming in with, they don't know what.
Yeah.
And I don't either because I'm meeting them.
Yeah.
And so what's fascinating for me is how many of them after 3 sessions are basically ready to hit the ground running. It does not mean that every one of their issues are resolved.
Yeah.
But what it does mean is this: they never have had somebody who they could just talk to.
Right.
Without any obligation on their part to consider the other person.
Sure.
And that's what I always say about therapy is I go, the great thing about therapy is you're paying me.
Yeah.
You do not have to consider my feelings or my thoughts. This is your time.
Yeah.
And you really get to just think through whatever's going on. And I can't tell you how many people have been, I don't know if I like using the word healed because it's not accurate, but just the fact that they get to express themselves. And I have tons of clients who say, I have never shared this with anyone. And when they just being able to share it, all of a sudden they're free. So what you just said is being present, being in the moment. Yeah. When I was dealing with an addiction and then got out of it, and I would say all of a sudden I experienced the idea of, wow, I'm way more present than I've ever been. And I'm able to speak to people in a way, I don't know if you've noticed. Did you notice a difference in me really, or not so much?
Well, no, you were living in keto.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, but the truth is that there were things that I look back on and I go, I'm just not the same person. I think Patty would safely say that I'm not the same person. I think Ashley and Trinity would say that, that my dad's not the same person. And it's not even that I was a bad person. I don't think anybody would say, oh, he was so horrible.
Right.
Nobody would say that.
Right.
I don't think. but I wasn't as present.
Right.
And nothing like saying your life is over. You know, one of my favorite movies ever is a movie with Jack Nicholson and the black guy who's a great Morgan Freeman. What's it called? It's called what?
Bucket List?
Bucket List.
Oh, yeah.
It's a movie called Bucket List, and it's about them having, doing certain goals before they kick the bucket.
Right.
It's called the Bucket List. And of course, the money was no object because Jack Nicholson in the movie is ridiculously rich. But what was fascinating is that Jack Nicholson, his thing was he could do whatever he wanted to whenever he wanted to. He was literally a gazillionaire. But he ended up finding his relationships being the key.
Right.
Like that changed his life.
Right.
Have you ever seen the movie?
I think I saw it many, many years ago.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I'm
anyway,
not, but I think that's what ends up coming down to a lot of it. If you know that you have limited time, you're not thinking, oh, I better go take that trip. Suddenly you're just like, wait, I want my family around me. I want to be able to explore, even if you do go on a trip, you're like, I want to take my whole family. I want to make sure we're all there together. I want to.
That is so funny that you say that, because I often think if I ever got wealthy, what I really think about is taking my family, incling you guys, on a trip.
Yeah.
That's why Patty and I started the Big Bear thing.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
Patty
it's
didn't
funny.
know we started it.
Yeah.
But
We just bombarded her.
But why we continue that tradition is, and nowadays we can't afford to do it because of the nature of what happened. But, but we wanted that.
Yeah.
We wanted that family connection.
Yeah.
And it's been so wonderful
Yeah, it
to me.
has.
Your son, Dustin, has been.
Oh, yeah. He's been there every year.
You and Dustin, I think, are the only ones that are committed. Huh?
Yeah.
OGs.
The OGs. The
yeah.
OGs.
Yeah.
Ashley,
No, it's been
and
wonderful.
obviously, Ashley and Andy have been to all of them, and Iggy's been to all the ones that he's been around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he was around for the first two.
I feel the same way. Like if there was somebody, I'm going to get onto a couple more of the things that we need to do before we run out of time. But if I was given the question, what would you do if you knew your days were numbered? It would, it would literally be, I would just tell my family, just come over and we're just hanging out all day long. And, let's all go to the beach and just sit on the sand.
When money changes,
nothing extravagant. It's just, I want to be around everybody.
But the way you think about money too, or at least the way I think, I won't put you in this, but the way obviously you still can't afford to do things that you can't afford to do. And I'm not going to put my wife in a position where I say, hey, we're going to go on a $40,000 trip and you're going to have to pay this off.
Yeah. Cause I'm dying.
But the thing is that money does change, because all of a sudden you really do recognize, I can't take this. Mm-hmm. And so there are things, one of the things that Patty and I made a very concerted effort in we travel quite a bit, but that's what we prioritize. Because if you look at our bathroom, it's still, other than being painted, it's still built in the 1970s, but it doesn't, to me, it doesn't look dirty and different.
No.
But other people are going to say, well, I need to change a bathroom. And we go, well, no, we would rather travel than have a new sink.
Sure.
And so I do like experiences a great deal, and I really love Patty and I love my wife. I just love spending time with her. But I will say, if I could afford it, I would love to take my kids on vacations. And we've done many vacations together. We've done many vacations together. The Big Bear thing aside, we've done other things that where we've gone to Kansas City, we've gone to New Orleans, we've done trips together. And there's something about the trips where you get to know people, you get to know their personality, there's other things. And so I love that too. Sorry, I don't know if I'm totally derailing you.
No, you're not derailing at all. No, it's true. It's very true. But the other thing that, I don't know if you ever find yourself not saying this just because you're like, there's time. I do this. But just to say, I love you to somebody, you know what I mean? And it's like, of course, I say it to my husband, I say it to my kids, but I don't know the last time I've actually told you I love you. You know what I mean? And it's like, and I do, but
I don't know.
I mean,
No,
it's like,
true.
take the opportunity to say this to somebody, even
That's
if they
funny.
do know in their heart that that person loves them. You know, it's good to hear it, and
No,
it's
I
good.
agree.
And you would never want somebody to die and then later go, gosh, why didn't I ever tell them I love them? You know what I mean? So I feel like that's important.
I can remember being a young lady.
You remember being a young lady? Oh, wow, news for me.
I can remember being with a young lady who was a high schooler, and this has to be the coolest memory for her. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cry.
Oh my gosh, I think you told me about this.
But I asked her. I went to go
yeah.
see her because her father died,
Yeah.
and I went to go see her immediately when her father died, and her father was still in the home,
Mm-hmm.
and because of our mom. And our mom saying nobody ever wanted to talk about
Yes.
my mom's dying.
Yes.
So I learned it's appropriate and good to
Yes.
talk. And so I asked her, I don't know, a couple of days later, I said, what are you going to miss the most about your dad?
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm going to cry.
and she said, he used to walk up the stairs and look down at me and say, I said, Helen, you know what? And she'd go, yes, Dad. And he would say, I love you.
Right. And she probably got so irritated with that
got
daily
so
thing,
irritated.
but she's going to miss that. Yeah.
And that was the
Yeah.
one thing that she missed. And
Yeah.
yeah. I think I'm pretty good about saying it with my kids.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm very good at it with anybody else. I don't think I've told you I love you.
I know. You
Yeah.
haven't. It's all right.
Well, I will.
we'll just
I'm
move
going to put it on my things list.
my to-do list for Thursday.
Friday. Today's
Friday.
Thursday. So
Oh, yeah, so it's Friday.
No, I'm kidding. Okay, Valerie.
I love you.
Like add it to the calendar.
Yes.
No, I think it's important. I think it's a lot of times we think the person knows that, and they do.
Yeah.
But it's always nice to hear it, and you do remember those things. You really will. Also, one of the things I was saying, wholehearted living isn't about perfection, and to live in a way on a daily basis that really matters to you. So,
Yeah.
live with intention, live with what really matters to you, because at the end of the day, like, that's all you got. And
Yeah.
I think back to what Ray said when we had him on the show, and he said something about, I'd like to say that I'm writing my eulogy, but somebody else is going to read it.
Yeah.
And so to remember on a daily basis the kind of person that you want to be and how you want somebody to remember you, I think is
well, and that
important.
goes back to what we've talked about multiple times in the podcast, but because I think I've actually stated this many times. I say, what do you want people to say at your eulogy? And then it's like, well, what are you doing so that that's what they'll
100%,
say? You
yeah.
know, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But the other thing that you just mentioned is, what's your mission in life? And that's a big deal, because a lot of people aren't living for a mission. A lot of people are basically living just, just to make it.
Sure.
And then it's not until these kind of moments
Exactly.
that you go, I'm not really living with any intentionality whatsoever.
Right. Exactly.
And then there could be a sense of regret.
Right.
Yeah.
There's just a couple more things. I'll just say this one, that to be joyful on purpose and to create your own joy.
Yeah.
Because we can be happy and excited and joyful in the big moments of our lives, but to find joy in the simple moments and to be, you and Patty are a perfect example, because it reminds me of Peter and I, that we find joy in just walking on the Strand.
We do.
Yeah.
We genuinely do.
Yeah.
We'll laugh at each other.
Exactly.
We'll hold each other's hands
Yeah.
on the sofa. We just, I really do. We really do enjoy each other. We really do enjoy each other. We really do enjoy life. We do enjoy, we joke, and we can't talk about what Patty just did.
She was talking
video.
about the simple things.
The carnal things.
No,
of
but
life.
it's so true. Like, once you realize if you do realize, you know what, I don't know if I'm promised tomorrow, well, make sure you're living the joy today.
Yes.
and not wait for that big moment to be joyful or happy about something. Like, you know, I think about, I haven't done this in a long time, and it would be very funny. I mean, Peter and I are empty nesters right now, but there was a time that I remember just like dancing in the kitchen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? Dance in the kitchen. You
That's
know,
right.
it's in. And don't care what people think.
No.
That's the other thing. Like this is so funny. I remember one time my friend Erica, I worked at a grocery store and she was younger than I was. And I just remember one time I asked her, I was checking out groceries and she was a courtesy clerk. And I said, can you go get a price check on this? And she's like, sure. So she takes off. She comes back and we're waiting because I'm waiting for that one item. And I watch her down the aisle and she's hop skipping from the gray squares only. Like she's not going on the tan. And she's like, do. But I don't realize she's doing that. I just see her and I'm like, what is she doing? And so she comes back. I go, what was that about? She goes, oh, I can't step on the tan squares today. I'm only doing gray. And like, she was just so quirky like that. And I'm like, the next time I went to the grocery store, like shopping, I was like,
changed your perspective.
Oh, totally. I started just jumping on the gray squares and I was like, this is so much fun. And you know, in my mind, I'm like, I must look like a kook. And I haven't done that in a long time. Maybe I will do it tomorrow.
But this is my catchphrase. My catchphrase is make it a great day.
Totally.
Instead of pretending like the day just unfolds and you get to, and you experience it, you can make the day what you want and make it.
Right. And I used to always say that this is a terrible catchphrase, but my kids will all attest to this. Like I'll say, oh, can I do this? Or like doing something that would bear. If I did something silly, Nicole's all about it. She'll like join me. She'll totally join me.
Oh yeah.
And if I do something in front of Dustin, he'll just like go, there goes mom. You know, I do something in front of Kylie. She's like, mommy, stop. Mommy, stop.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
you know, and I go, and I would say things like, if I die tomorrow, and she goes, oh my gosh, you say that. But I really meant it.
Yeah.
Like, if I die tomorrow, you're going to miss this weird side of me. You know what I mean? And it's like, who cares what anybody else thinks? I'm having fun with you right now.
That's right.
So that was really the general idea of this whole podcast with having a couple people pass away that, you know, were so way too young. I mean, and obviously in the news, you've got Malcolm Jamal Warner that passed away. You have Ozzy Osbourne. And then I heard Hulk Hogan just died today. Yeah. And these,
I don't know if it was today, but that's when they announced it.
And they're, I mean, well, Malcolm Jamal Warner was young.
Younger than us.
Ozzy was ill for a while. He's still not as old as mom and dad.
Farewell show like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Which it makes you view that farewell show differently because it's like he was intentionally. I actually read a whole article about it. Yeah, he was literally saying farewell. He said that he stopped taking his Parkinson's disease medication intentionally because he wanted to be able to do that concert.
Got it.
And so because apparently when he's under the influence of his drug, he can't be who he was.
Totally.
And he sat down and he was strapped in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
So the guy, that's a trooper.
But yeah, so, you know, that's just all to say, like, live today.
Live today.
Wholeheartedly.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Folks, we are at wholehearted_living_podcast on Instagram, and we're also on YouTube. So we encourage you to look for Wholehearted Living with Valerie Bennie. And we're very grateful that you're listening. Please.
And you can listen on Spotify.
And listen on Spotify as well. And don't forget to click on the poll.
Yes.
What is the poll again, Yuki?
What was the poll?
When you're on the phone, do you use headphones or earphones? Do you put the phone up to your ear or do you loudspeaker?
Do you do loudspeaker? So these are very important questions, folks.
Yes.
These are very important questions.
And I'm being serious. If you've been listening to us for a while and you want a t-shirt, I'll make you one.
And we'll make you one. Or we'll just send you some random one.
And then,
but you'll be able to say it's ours.
We'll put our faces on it.
We'll put our faces on it or something like that. Thank you, Valerie. This is great.
All right, you guys. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk with you later. Bye.
Ciao.